Before we even get on any ladders, we first want to remind you that the best place and the safest place to be is always on your feet on the ground. So if you don't need to be on a ladder, if you can do the job on the ground, if you can use a tool or an extender, try to do the job on the ground. So only get up, only work on a ladder or at heights if you absolutely have to be up there working on a ladder. I also want to mention with ladders, don't use a substitute for a ladder. In other words, don't stand on a bucket, don't stand on a chair, don't stand on boxes. Those are very flimsy and could easily fall over and cause an accident. The use of ladders, and before we get on a ladder, it's really important that that ladder's been inspected and it's good in good working order. This is a ladder that was just taken out of commission because it did not pass a ladder inspection. And I want to show why, and also talk about, ladder inspections, try not to make it too difficult. Really what you're looking for are, just pretend that this is a new ladder. And if this was a new ladder compared to what it looks like now, what's different about it? And I'll show you some things that we found on this that clearly show why this is not a new ladder and it's no longer in good working order. One is the things that we found the most were these braces right here. And the braces here are bent. And that is something that when you have braces that are bent like this, we can't fix this. We're not engineers. This is something that we don't know if it's going to structurally work anymore. So that's why a ladder like this had to be taken out of commission. When things don't look right, if things are bent or missing, that's when that ladder needs to be taken out of commission. If it does pass the inspection, you still have to have the stickers legible. So in this case, some of these stickers, we looked at them on both sides, they can't be read anymore. But if we were going to put this ladder back into commission, if it did pass the ladder inspection, we'd want to go to the manufacturer's website and order new stickers so that you could read them. All right, this ladder here we were inspecting, and just starting from the bottom, we already noticed that there's cracks in the fiberglass on this rail right here. And it actually kind of bows out a little bit too. So this ladder is not suitable to use. And this crack here could have happened from rough handling or poor handling. All right, so before we get on this ladder, we want to go ahead and inspect it. And again, we're looking for things that don't look right on the ladder. One easy thing to do is just start from the bottom and kind of work your way up from there. So if we start at the very bottom and look at the feet are all both in place right there, nothing missing, steady, level on the ground. Looking at up the sides of the rails on the back side, the rails look good. There's no rivets missing. I don't see any cracks or bends or anything like that. Looks good. The braces, look for, if the braces are bent, or there's cracks in them, or if something's missing. All of the braces are in place. None of them are bent or cracked or otherwise damaged. Spreaders are the original spreaders. We've had some ladders, we've found some ladders on occasion where people have actually taken these out and put in their own piece of metal. We don't want that. We only want to have the original spreaders. Spreaders, these are not bent. That's good. I'll look at the other one. Yeah, straight. Let's make sure the spreaders can fully extend. They can. Okay. So our spreaders look good. Nothing's missing there. Okay, and that takes us to the front of the ladder. So again, starting at the bottom, the feet are there and intact. Nothing is cracked or missing. Okay. Looking at the side rails, making sure the rivets are all in place. And they are all the way up to the top. There's no cracks. Okay, looks good. No cracks. Stickers are legible. That's good. Both sides, those are good, okay. And then now the rungs, what we're actually going to be stepping on, the rungs, Make sure that none of the rungs are missing, that they all have their rivets. That looks good. And then also that these are clean, that they don't have paint or oil or grease or dirt or anything like that. And if they do, you just clean them up. So the rungs all look good. The top of the ladder looks good. It's sturdy and in place. Before we get on the ladder, I want to mention two really important rules when you're working on a ladder. The first is points of contact. You always want to maintain at least 3 points of contact at all times when you're working on the ladder. When you're going up the ladder, when you're working on the ladder, when you're going back down, at least 3 points of contact. Sometimes you'll have more points of contact, but the more you have, more points of contact you have, the safer you're going to be when you're on the ladder. The second thing is you want to make sure that your belt buckle is lined up with the center of the ladder. If you lean too far over on one side or the other side of the ladder, you could easily fall off the ladder. The whole ladder could actually fall over. Unfortunately, earlier this week, Rentokil did have an accident like that where somebody actually leaned too far over on one side of the ladder, and he and the ladder actually fell over. So really important to stay lined up with the center part of the ladder. So let's go ahead and go up the ladder, keeping those points of contact. So going up and down, points of contact. So right now I have 4 points of contact, 3 points of contact, 4 points of contact. Really important to keep those points of contact when you're going up and down the ladder. Okay. Right now I actually have 5 points of contact. Now that I have that many points of contact, including right here in the center of my body, I can now start using my hands when I'm up on the ladder. I could use this hand, okay? I could use the other hand, and technically I can use both hands from time to time because I do have, right now I actually do have 3 points of contact. But you know, again, the more points of contact you have, the safer you're going to be. So only use both hands when you only need to use both hands. Okay, don't lean too far. Don't lean on the ladder. Don't go lean one way or the other. And then when you go down the ladder, the same rules apply. So we want to make sure we get a firm grasp of the rails. Okay, keep those points of contact. Right now I have 4 points of contact, 3 points of contact, 4 points of contact. Okay, keep that. And keep doing that all the way down to the bottom. So one of the best things you can have when you're going, when you're working on a ladder to free up your hands is to have a tool belt. And that way when you're going up and down the ladder, you're not carrying all the tools and equipment and whatever else you need when you're working on the ladder. So we got a tool belt here. Let's go ahead and use this. So get back on the ladder. Okay, keep those firm points of contact going up. Okay. Okay. And now when I'm working on the ladder, I have my tools here that I need, and I can use them. And again, if I needed to, I could use both hands. What we don't want to do is a lot of work on one side or the other. We want to try to work basically in front of us so we can keep our belt buckle lined up with the center of the ladder, okay? Never have someone throw you something when you're up on a ladder. If someone were to toss you, you know, whatever, an ornament or whatever, and you reached out for it, you could very easily fall that way. So don't throw anything up, and don't ask anyone to throw you something up. Bring it up with a tool belt or you know, carry it up with a pulley or something else. Also, just bear in mind that when we are working at heights like this, important to have, you know, if people are below you and you're working with something, you know, metal like this and you drop it, you want to have a hard hat. Anyone working beneath you would definitely want to have a hard hat in that situation. Okay, and now when we go down the ladder, same thing. We want to make sure we maintain those points of contact. Okay, don't go too fast. Firm points of contact. Okay.